Hi Luli, hi Annie. I'm gonna share my screen today, and today we are gonna learn about the balance of nature. Okay? So God has planned all living things to depend upon each other. Okay? So animals depend upon plants for oxygen and food, and plants depend upon animals for carbon dioxide and for nutrients. Okay? So some plants depend upon animals to help them reproduce, like what we learned about flowering plants and bees or insects. So the web of life is this. All living things are connected to one another and to the air, water, and earth. For the vocabulary today, we have the word affected. It means that something has an effect in something else or someone else. We have the word consumers. You know that. Consumer eats something that eats other things. We have decomposers, for example, here mushrooms, that are organisms that eat the dead remains of former living things. We have dew, the moisture that it's in the air and it collects in cool surfaces at night. We have drought, sequía, a long time without rain. Ecology, it's the study of the relationships between living things and their environment. Then ecosystem, it's a level of organization within nature that consists of both physical and biological, so meaning living environments. Environment, it's anything that surrounds a living thing and determines how it's gonna grow. Evaporate, change from liquid to a gas, like this picture here. Exposed, I don't have a picture for this because it was really tricky, but something that it's open and covered. Influence having an effect on someone or something. Nature, all living and non-living things that God has created. Nitrogen, it's an element, a really important gas that makes most of the air, and it doesn't have a smell, a color, or a taste. Then many, you know that word many, right? Like many things. Pollution, something that makes the environment dirty. Population, it's the members of one species of living things within an area, specific area. Prairie, a large land area with rolling hills and a few trees. Then we have precipitation. Precipitation can be water in any form that it's falling to the earth, like rain, sleet, hail, snow. Predators, like this fox, it's an animal that hunts and kills another animal. Then we have producers. Producers are plants mostly that get eaten by other animals. Rodents, a group of animals that have teeth special for eating hard things like wood or hard plants or seeds. Then scavengers are animals that eat dead or rotten animals. Stewardships, being ser mayordomos, it's taking care of somebody else's things. Then terrarium, it's a container that has plants and animals, and it looks like an environment. Then thrive, prosperar, ser exitoso o crecer fuerte, growing strong. Okay, so for the balance of nature, we know that God created all living and non-living things. So green plants receive energy from the sun. The plant gets mineral, nutrients, water from the soil. It also gets carbon dioxide from the air. And the plant gives off what? Oxygen during photosynthesis. Rabbits feed on the plant. They breathe the oxygen from the air and they drink water. And then rabbits give off carbon dioxide when they breathe and chemicals to the soil through their waste. Foxes come and they can eat rabbits, for example. Foxes also receive oxygen and drink water. They give off carbon dioxide and minerals to the soil through wastes. Eventually, that fox is gonna die, and his dead body, it's gonna give off food to other organisms, for example, worms or like decomposers. His body is gonna return into minerals and nutrients that can be used by new plants and grow again. When the life needs of all living things in an area of the earth are met, we can say that there is balance of nature. When there is balance, the population of species of living things stays fairly stable. It doesn't change that much. If something happens to the water or food or air, and either the rabbits or the foxes, for example, don't receive what they need, then balance of nature would be upset, and that can be a problem. Okay, the population is gonna change. In time, it can be restored, but maybe not. God wants us to help keep or restore the balance of nature so the web of life continues. We have ecology. Ecology is the study of the balance of nature and the relationships of living things to one another and to their environment. So how an animal or plants relates to each other and to the place where they live. And the scientists that study ecology are called ecologists. Now we're going to talk about the physical environment. The physical environment includes non-living things like water, air, the soil, and the weather, and also includes everything that supports life on Earth, okay? Some parts of the physical environment go through cycles. That's what we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about 3 cycles: the water cycle, the carbon cycle, and the chemical cycle. The water cycle is how water moves through the air. Water is the most common substance in our planet. It covers about 70% of the Earth's surface. You are made mostly of water. Cells are made mostly of water. Water is in oceans, rivers, lakes, streams, and it's also in the ground and in the air. It's in the water, in the food that you eat, okay? So every living thing is made consistently of water. What else? Okay, so water helps living things grow and survive. It helps the cells do their work. It transports nutrients, and it also transports waste out of the body of the plant or of the animal. Okay, and without water, plants and animals die. You know that, of course. For the water cycle, okay, organisms that live in the water easily receive water. Organisms that live in the land receive water through rain or dew. For example, plants soak it up through their roots, and animals drink it and get water through the food that they eat. For example, if you eat an apple, it has water in it. All of the water on the earth goes through a water cycle. Water evaporates, it forms clouds, and then it becomes rain or snow or dew or other form of precipitation. That precipitation falls to the earth and the cycle begins again. The balance of nature is supported by the water cycle, and it is also affected by it. For example, if there is not enough rain, drought occurs, sequía. Water levels go down, the soil dries up, and animals may die. And also, if you have too much water, you're going to have a problem because you're going to have a flood. And that can drown plants and animals. Los puede ahogar. We also have the carbon cycle. When a plant converts carbon dioxide into oxygen, we call that photosynthesis. We know that. But when an animal converts oxygen that they breathe and they breathe it out, it's called carbon dioxide, and that's respiration. Animals depend on each other to live. An animal needs oxygen to be alive, and it breathes out carbon dioxide. A plant needs carbon dioxide to be alive, and it breathes off oxygen. So you get, it's like a circle, it's a cycle. For example, if in a pond all of the plants would die, there wouldn't be enough oxygen, and all the animals in the pond would die too. So the fishes would die. And next we have the chemical cycle. Plants need bacteria and other microorganisms to break down dead things. Animals need the chemicals in plants, and these chemicals include different elements like hydrogen or nitrogen or phosphorus or sulfur. So you get the idea. A plant has chemicals. Then an animal comes and eats the plant, and they get these chemicals that they need to be alive. Plants or animals produce waste or die. For example, waste like when they poop, or die when they are dead. They are not living anymore. Bacteria help decay these dead plants and animals, and those chemicals return again to the ground, and then a new plant can use those chemicals to grow again, and then another animal can eat the plant and get the chemicals. You see, it's a cycle where the chemicals go from plant to animal to the soil again, and then to a plant. Okay, that would be it, girls, for the day.